I'm the sort of guy that loves having stuff. And by that, I mean getting something and proudly displaying it. Like some sort of hunting trophy. Except it's a houseplant, or something. But there's also a part of me that loves to have a good old spring clean. To go through my old belongings and to get rid of anything you no longer want or need. The perfect Zen balance. The real problem comes when possessions and space balance is not balanced. A lot of people decide to pack light in their homes, throwing out anything they don't need unless it's the bare minimum essentials. Being the sort of person who never holds on to anything for too long, managed to come into the possession of an old phone, iron, dial-up modem? Who knows when they're going to come in handy? It must be so impractical for these people who throw something away and then a few weeks later wish they hadn't, knowing that they'd have to order themselves a new one. As you can probably tell, I'm not one of these sorts of people. I'm more of the opposite end of the scale. Someone who tends to find an old shirt and convinces himself that it will one day come in use. Well, I haven't worn this shirt for the past 7 years, probably doesn't fit me anymore, but who would throw out a perfectly good shirt? I think the real root of the problem is when I would find something I've not used in a while, I would always think back to the guy that decided to throw it away and then wish they hadn't done so. I was not going to make the same mistake. I would hold on to that old textbook just in case I ever needed to look at my old maths school book again, which of course I never needed. I really hope that some of you guys can share in my struggles and that I'm not the only person with a wardrobe heaving with old useless junk. What may have also contributed to the problem was when I was younger, my mum would tell me to clean my room. And a quick, easy way to clean my room was just to put every loose item in my room in a container, cupboard or drawer and just ram it full. Out of sight, out of mind. This worked like a charm. And because this was a quick and easy way for me to bury my head in the sand, and therefore my responsibilities, I did it more and more until it reached the point of pure madness. Hey, could you find the scissors? I think you had them in your room last time. Oh yeah, no problem, they're lost to the jungle now. Here's £10, go buy yourself a new pair. Okay, so this may be a little bit over-exaggerated. I don't have a deep-rooted disorder like some people do on TV, but on average, I tend to lean more towards the kind of person that would think twice before throwing something away. One thing that I do tend to hold on to are old electronics and cables. Oh boy, I have cables for days. Every time that I find a cable which I don't use on a regular basis or have no idea what it's for in the first place, I decide to throw it in the cable box. What is the cable box, you ask? Well, it's a box full of old cables. Surprisingly. You know when you've got earphones in your pocket and they tend to magically tangle themselves up? Imagine that times 1,000. The other week I had to dig through the box to find an old phone charger as the one I was currently using has broken. Finding the cable wasn't hard, but untangling it from the rest of the bunch took me, and I'm not even joking, about half an hour. This box just symbolises my need to hold on to stuff unnecessarily. It even reached the point where I had to basically empty my entire room and move back in because of the amount of stuff I had. The sheer volume of stuff in my room was insane. I would be pulling stuff out of the cupboard like it was an endless void of old junk. I don't think I would even have enough days in the week to find enough time to stick all this stuff on eBay. You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. I think most people can relate to having a designated room in the house where you just dump stuff. Every room in the house is pristine, it's clean, welcoming for visitors who can see just how organised and tidy you really are. But they just can't go into that one room or cupboard which will totally not spring open and release half the contents of the house. Excuse me, where's the nearest toilet? Ah, it's upstairs, second door to the left. Hey! I said the second door on the left, not the first one. The problem with this method, however, is that whenever you need anything, It will very likely be at the bottom of a huge pile of stuff, at the back of a crammed room which you can barely step into. Now, I have a system where I decide whether I'm going to throw something away or not. I gradually started to use the 2-rule system. Number 1. Have I used this thing in the past year? Likely, if you haven't, then why not? If I've not found a need for this thing for an entire year, then is it really that needed? Number 2. Does the item have significant sentimental value? Now, this rule takes quite a lot of self-control, and sometimes you have to be a little ruthless. Some people may find an old toy which holds sentimental value, but really it's old, torn apart, and not really useful for anything or anyone. And if you have anything which doesn't fall under these 2 rules, throw it out, donate it, who cares, just get it out of your life. You will feel so much more accomplished and productive if you do. Out with the old and in with the new. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and an even bigger thank you to the people that have created the awesome fan art you can see on screen. Every time I see fan art, honestly, it makes my day. You guys are so talented, and it really warms my heart every time that I see you guys take time out of your day to do this. Also, just to let you know, I'm working on something quite big, so the uploads aren't going to be quite as frequent as they normally are. If you want to be informed as to when I do upload, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified as soon as I do. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Fantastic.